Good morning, everyone. I hope you all had a wonderful sleep coming into this beautiful Monday and this beautiful full moon. Now, this entire cycle has been big with transformation, changes, environments moving around and adapting very quickly and very rapidly. And we're kind of hitting what I guess you could call a climax point where just all that energy and all that flow is going to start to actually permeate to give us a better control over the larger environments and our emotional connection to those larger environments as well. And this will do some people some great service, enabling them a little bit more of a sense of control, influence over their own immediate surroundings. Others of us, it might accentuate some of the tension and the stress that's going on there. And so we're going to see more of that crashing in as opposing opinions and wills and methods start to collide with one another. Regardless, though, it's a great energy for making your area and your place what you want it to be. And so that's sort of the major note that I wanted to make on today. Taking advantage of the full moon in Aquarius to really set some assignment towards what you want as your environment. Manifesting our environment's a super critical part of living a spiritual life. We want to be able to perceive the reality that we want to live. And Mercury in Aquarius inspires this in our subconscious, encourages more of that independent and somewhat rebellious methodology to start coming to the surface. We start breaking out of some of the norms that we might have just kind of gone along with and feel just a little bit more like expressing and doing things in our own style and our own methods. Try not to contain this too tightly. Doing so is just going to wind up overwhelming your own energy and overwhelming your own flow. Now, breaking it down by sign, we'll go elements. The fire signs, I would be worried most about overburning yourselves, finding yourselves putting too much expression and too much passion and too much energy into everything, and just having all of your fuel and all of your energy exhausted. So Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries, make sure that you are monitoring how much of your energy you're investing during the next couple of days. Make sure you're doing something to take care of your own self and your own state of being. It's about your space, and you want to make sure that you're holding your space specifically and where those boundaries line out at. With the water signs, this one usually hits more so on our emotional state of being, and the air energy on water is usually like building things up and throwing them around, splashing them all over the place. It whips us into a bit of its own frenzy, almost like a hurricane or tropical storm in that kind of style. So for us, it's a lot of the emotional highs and lows and going through all those bits and pieces in between. I feel especially for Pisces, because I know there's a lot of heavy weight sort of on the dreamer side of things right now, with some of the movements going through the larger astrological means. So Pisces especially, just make sure that you're finding yourself comfortable and safe place to feel your own emotions and not too much the emotions of those around you. Cancer and Scorpio, make sure that you're letting yourselves get into those emotions and scrutinize what's going on the deeper level. This is a really good time to be doing some journaling for the water signs. Earth signs, I think you guys are probably going to handle this the best and worst at the same time. Best because typically getting blown around and thrown around, you guys are all about stability anyway, so it doesn't hit you with the same effect. So you should be able to maintain sort of that consistency of self throughout the next little bit here. The worst side of it, though, is if we're not tapping into these energies and using them to get ourselves to new levels, new evolutions, and new forms, we're squandering the energy. And so it is going to take the emphasis on discipline to make sure you're moving yourself towards your goals. Capricorns, Tauruses, Virgos, make sure you're keeping your eyes on the prize of what it is that you're supposed to be working towards at this time, and keep building it block by block by block by block until you get your full pinnacle point coming together for yourself. It just leaves the air signs. Now, Geminis, Libras, you're going to have sort of that extra influence and extra desire to want to reach out into larger pictures, and just make sure that you're monitoring what works for you and what doesn't. I think the biggest thing for those two is specifically make sure you're looking at how your influence relates towards what is necessary for you. If the methodology doesn't fit, rebellion is going to become very deep in the subconscious, deeply rooted in everything that you do, and that could turn into self-sabotage in ways that you don't mean for. The Aquariuses are going to get the supercharge this time around. That means you guys really need to put some effort into kicking ass and chewing bubblegum. Really going and striving forward for your goals. There's huge transformational energy available in this year, and this is one of the key elements for you to tap into, because when you bring that energy, both 2020 and the full moon together, for Aquarius during this next couple of days, there should be some really good realizations, some really good bursts into new clarity, new insight, new understanding for self. But once you have that understanding, you have to make sure that you assert that understanding appropriately. Now, typically I say a day in, day of, and day out. 9:59 p.m. a.m. 9:59 a.m. is what my little app here says for when this all kicks into full aperture. But most of us during our sleep right now are probably feeling the initial heavy tones and heavy vibrations of this energy. You'll definitely want to make sure that you take some time to do whether it be a moon ritual, getting your crystals out into moonlight to charge them, or a candle meditation, something to just help you connect with the full moon dynamics. We all go a little bit weird and a little bit loco crazy during full moons, so try your best to catch it early in the day. If you start your day with an intention of recognizing what's going on in that larger picture, that should help you to apply a good control over top of it, no matter who you are. And Aquarius, at the end of the day, is about the larger environment. It's the larger grouping of energy around us. It's the ambience of everything, whether it be a household or a business or a city. When you have that ambient energy, that's what we're kind of getting into in that Aquarius representation. It is the grand energy of an atmosphere. So tap into what you want your atmosphere to be like. Make that your present consciousness throughout today. Tomorrow, when it's sort of the hangover, do your best to keep it reinforced. Then build on that and build on that and build on that through until the next full moon. Give yourself that 28 days to really make the habit happen, so that maybe you're developing a habit to start taking control of your day first thing when you wake up, or putting everything to good rest at the end of the day when you go to bed. Either way, this is going to be a bit of a wild one for us, so have some fun. I'm going to keep an eye out for anyone that's doing moon meditations throughout the day. Try to share them through the page as well. But barring all that, I might try to do a little moon prayer before I shut down for Monday night, so keep a half eye out for that later on. Thanks for listening to rant, though. Always a pleasure having you guys come out. If you haven't checked out our contest right now, make sure you pop over to Nicholas's Magic House on Facebook and get your name in. I've got a staff, a wand, and a natal chart. 3 prizes that are up for grabs, so make sure you take a look-see. And beyond that, have yourselves a safe and wonderful full moon. Take care, everybody.